If you want to sit on your ass and do jack shit, by all means, go ahead. If that's what makes you feel fulfilled and that's what makes you happy, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and take your stupid ass fucking advice of straight up just do nothing. Like, that pisses me off.
Welcome back to another episode of Real to Real. Today we got the OGs, Nick, myself, Kevin, Joey. Good morning.
Love that intro. I was like, welcome back.
Yeah, I got some energy.
Attention grabber, dude. Like,
Got my apple juice in me. I'm turned up right now.
Hell yeah,
You juiced up?
I'm juiced up.
Got a little Mott's
I'm on
juice
that
in you.
juice.
Nick's got his OJ.
That stuff's amazing, dude.
Yeah, we got episode 12. We're zooming through these things. We're doing once a week at this point. And last week we talked about self-criticism. Figured we'd flow in. Today we're talking about self-sabotage.
The Sabo.
Self-sabo.
We're saying it like it's such a cool thing, but it really sucks.
Yo, the
My homie Sabo.
The Sabo.
Yeah, it's very real.
Yeah, so what is self-sabotage? Someone throw a definition at me.
Basically, when you do stuff, man, that it hinders your success and your progress in the future. Like, you're just doing it to yourself. It's taken away from your opportunities, your dreams, your visions. It's taken away from all that stuff because here's some ideas why. I mean, it's scary. Two, you're lazy, which I find myself doing a lot of times. I'm just lazy. Fuck this. Like, I don't want to do this. And three, I don't really have a three, but it sounded cool to have three points.
Dude, three is a magic number.
It's always 3.
Yeah.
It just keeps you from attaining your goals.
Yeah, basically just
Keep it simple.
self-inflicted wounds, not preventing yourself from doing what you actually want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, like shying away from the greatest version of yourself, I feel like.
Right.
I like that, shying away.
So do you guys think everyone suffers or self-sabotages to a certain degree? Or is it just some people do it, some people don't?
Dude, if one single person didn't have any self-sabotage in their core of them, like, they would be the king of the world. We have endless potential. We're human beings. We have thousands of kilowatts of power in our brain. And if we can utilize all that without being hindered by anything, then, dude, you're taking over countries, you're taking over nations, you're ruling empires. But just that one little ounce of self-sabotage, you're back to where you are. I mean, even look at who we admire nowadays. We got Tesla, we have Jeff Bezos. Even these guys have self-sabotage. Otherwise, they'd be taking over the entire freaking world. Like, Bezos, Amazon, you have a hand in everyone's pocket. So why not take it further? Yeah. And because he has that, there's always something. I'm sure it's very little for him compared to, us or anybody else building up right now. But at the same time, he's got something.
I feel like Elon's on his way to fucking just destroy the world.
I hope so, man.
He's got a lot.
That guy's a unit.
He is.
He's a machine.
He could destroy it, or he can make it better.
Easily could
Who knows
destroy
what he's going to do?
Yeah.
I love the guy,
self-sabotage. Which way he goes.
Yeah, we'll see how he does.
So you think at a certain level it's kind of innate, it's built in to human beings?
I think everyone's born with some kind of seed of self-sabotage. Look at a baby, right? This baby, there was a psychology experiment. You have a baby, you have a glass shelf, and you have another crib, right? This baby's put on this glass shelf, and instead of moving over the glass, the baby knows innately that it can fall because it doesn't understand the perception of glass. It doesn't understand glass. You can see through glass. So the baby doesn't move. It could either get to comfort or it could just sit there, and it just sits there because it's afraid of dying. So innately, it's a fear thing.
So you're saying the baby knows that he'll fall through the glass?
Yeah, he sees the height. It's the fear of heights, right? That's one of our innate fears. And he doesn't know that there's glass there. When you get older, you know what glass is. You can walk over it or whatever if it's sturdy enough. But this baby will just see straight, I'm gonna fall. So I'm not gonna even try. I'm not gonna put my hand out on it. I'm not gonna try to balance myself. No, I'm just gonna not. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's the same thing for a lot of people. You just don't.
It makes sense.
Have you tried that experiment?
Have I tried it?
With a baby?
I haven't found a baby that's willing to sign a paperwork yet. But.
All right.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because I feel like a lot of what I believe is more nurture over nature kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting experiment Because like to me, I don't know if right when you're a baby, you're sabotaging yourself from the time you got a binky in your mouth. Like if you want to go eat the dirt, you're gonna go eat the dirt. You're not gonna like sabotage yourself from doing
You're
it.
crawling around in a diaper, shit in your pants.
No, yeah. I'm sure they're not thinking about, the consequences of it. Like they don't even know what they're gonna do in the next 2 seconds, like much less the consequences of their actions in the next 10 years, 5 years. But the two innate human fears is loud sounds and falling.
Well, I guess that makes sense because babies cry
Yeah.
like at loud noises. It's a good point.
Two innate human fears.
Yeah, so definitely do that. And Les Brown talks about that a lot, and I love that. So when it comes to the innate fears, then you could talk about as well as building on those fears over time. So like as much as you can, it can be taught to you and like enhanced by how you think, feel, and what you're wiring in your brain. Like I'm scared, and then you build on it. But it's also the same thing where neuroplasticity, to able to fire and wire your brain for new thought patterns and things like that, you're able to change it just as much as you are. Like going on 75 hard, you're a changed man. You know what I mean? So I believe it goes both ways too. So innate, and then it's built upon your thought processes, your habits, the way that you are, your character, your personality.
Right. That'll probably like determine the degree of self-sabotage and how often you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the nurture side of it will. But everyone has the innate, I think what you're saying, ability and concept of doing it. Like everyone does it to a certain degree is what you're saying, right?
Right. You got a good point. To the amount that you reinforce it and say that it's okay, the more you're going to, feel that it's okay to do that. The more you're going to hurt yourself in the future. That's why in our business too, in our fields, like you have a lot of buyers that are scared. They can have the perfect transaction ever. And because they're, so scared, they're going to find every single little detail to try to rip themselves apart. They're going to try to back out of the transaction. It's like you're just hurting yourself at that point. And it's up to us as like the professionals to actually say like, listen, this is a great transaction. You're in a good spot. You're going to make yourself in a good spot for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Why don't we just move forward with this? If you hate it, you can sue me later on. I don't care. But if you love it, 100% of the time, they're going to love it because, it's what they wanted. But because they have this fear, now it's like, I don't want to do this. So it's up to us to have to, punish that behavior. It's for them, because if they can't do it themselves, they're going to end up screwing themselves over.
That's a good way to wrap it into real estate because, dude, I'm sure we've all had clients who it's like, dude, the inspection report was perfect, right? Or everything's going perfect. You just need to nitpick and find the one thing. You're trying to sabotage it. You know what I mean?
So would you say that self-sabotage is on the barrier of comfort and uncomfort? Like as soon as like they're on that verge of like being uncomfortable doing things that they're not used to, or like, even say like you have this 6-figure job offer or whatever, and you kind of are like, you don't have confidence in yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you're worth it. So then you're like shying away, man, well, I shouldn't do this. And you're focusing on all the bad. And then to cool yourself back down to what's comfortable to you. So, what I mean? You got this great job offer. You don't believe in yourself. You're not confident. So you're like, man, I don't know. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my $50,000 a year job. And this is fine. So I'm comfortable. I'm fine doing this.
And then you start making up excuses for yourself too. Like after that, it's like, oh, I didn't buy this house, but I'm putting it into my business. Like the shit I did, you know what I mean?
Dude, you will rationalize anything to make yourself feel good.
Exactly. So I do think, wait, what was the question?
Comfort and uncomfort.
Yeah, just like the barrier, the self-sabotage is right there. It's like, do you push past that or do you, to the uncomfortable, or do you go right back to what's comfortable?
You go back to what's comfortable.
Yeah, everybody wants to be comfortable. Yeah. No one likes being uncomfortable.
That's innate, though. I think.
That is innate.
That is innate.
So
100%.
Self-sabotage might go to a deeper level of...
Yeah, I think you hinted at it too, like just exceeding what you feel like you're worth. You always cool yourself back down. So how do you make yourself feel like you're worth more?
Number one, being around people that are go-getters, that see the world different perspective that can be passed on to you. But being around them and like being around you guys, for instance, I see you guys go and get it every single day. It's like, it cannot not rub off on me. You know what I mean? If I'm consistently around that, there's no reason. And then I would be the dead weight, and you guys aren't going to surround yourself with somebody who's not like that anyways. That's what I think. So getting around people that are go-getters as well, so you could change your perspective and heat up your life just a little bit.
You didn't have just to call yourself dead weight.
Yeah, dead weight. Cut him. Yeah,
Cut that out of here.
Caught me too. I was like, what? But are you asking how you make yourself feel like you're worth more?
Yes, because I think the reason we self-sabotage is because we're doing something that we don't feel like we're worth doing, or we're like achieving something that we don't feel like we're worth achieving. So we end up, like Nick said, cooling ourselves back down and finding ways to sabotage so that we don't get it because we feel like we don't deserve it. So how do we, in order to not self-sabotage, how do we feel like we deserve it? How do we, instead of, I know some people say like affirmations, which I think to a certain degree could work, but if you're just saying affirmations but your actions aren't following it, that's just going to put you down a negative cycle like we talked about before. So how do we increase our own self-worth and what we feel like we deserve?
I think building like a certain level of confidence helps with that too. Like going hand in hand with, affirmations, setting your goals. If you're confident, you have a goal, like you're going to achieve your goal. I think like confidence is huge.
So how do you build that confidence then, Joey? Let's deep dive into this.
I see what you're
Let's
asking
peel it.
now.
How do you build confidence? Well, like Nick said, just surrounding yourself with other people who are actually doing it. You kind of get like a step of confidence doing that, right? Because you're surrounding yourself with good people who are doing what you want to do. And just reading, working out, feeling better about yourself, like improving your knowledge, like feeding yourself with good information, working out, feeling good, eating healthy. Just makes you feel like a better person.
I'm trying to think of it from a point of somebody that's actually like in this like this fear ball like circle. I don't know what the hell you call it, just dark mode.
Let's
like,
give them a get out of the rut plan.
exactly. Like what do you do to get out of the rut? So I think step one is a mindset shift, like big time. I mean, it's not that's easier said than done, but you gotta create a plan for yourself, and it's not easy to. There's no one track of getting to this place of non-self-sabotage or non-fear, but
How do you
it's
shift your mindset?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Just wait. What the fuck?
Be patient, dude.
You guys want to step outside? What's up?
Bang outside voice.
So basically, it's not going to be easy, but you have to make that first step. The first step is always the biggest one. So you have to create this plan for yourself, like an actionable plan. If you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna read like in a couple days, like maybe like I'm gonna finish this book, soon." You got to create like SMART goals. We were talking about this in our meeting the other day. SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then time bound. So set a goal. Set a goal for yourself. Even just one. I need to go out, meet 3 new people by tomorrow in a random event. Builds confidence, goes back to Joey's point, builds confidence, gets you out of that fear state of being locked into yourself, allows you to explore the world. I think that's one of the best things you can do is just go out and meet people, just see people. Even if you don't meet people, just go out to 3 different locations and just people watch. I think just getting out of your own personal comfort environment, your comfortable environment, that itself is going to go and take you a long ways because now you're seeing all these other people making their stupid mistakes. You're like, fuck, like I mean zero. I mean literally nothing in this grand scheme of the world. So
Speck of dust.
speck of dust.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down
Short
to.
period of time.
Yep.
Yeah. I think self-confidence comes from recognizing, where you're at right now. And I always say this, and I firmly believe in this, is you're like, okay, what would my best Kevin be? I'm going to write out exactly what the best Kevin would do today. I'm going to write out his core values and things like that. And I think that's a huge first step because, if you don't have like an action plan of where you're going to go or a map to where you're going to go, you're just going to drift around. Like they even say like, you could have the best captain of the ship in the world, but if he doesn't have a map of where to go, he's just going to drift around. And so self-confidence comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. So I think that's big too. And like little goals, like you said, just win the day, focus on that, and that's it.
Yeah. And from personal experience, like the way I'm looking at it is like talking about how you're going to self-sabotage if you don't feel like you're worth it. Like if I'm going to self-sabotage myself from selling $10 million worth of houses this year because I don't feel like I'm worth it. And I don't feel like I'm worth it because I'm not taking the action of someone that would get that. So I think the only way out of it is, like you said, getting around other people who are taking action and just from the root of it, like taking action towards that. You can't I can't sit here and tell myself I'm going to I can't sit here and tell myself I'm going to sell 10 million. I'm going to sell 10 million. I'm going to sell 10 million. Dude, why can't I say that?
Because your mind wants to say 12 million.
No, it's because I'm self-sabotaging myself. Because I know I'm not worth
like 9 million.
I don't take the action to sell 10 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't feel like you deserve it. I know.
Right. And that'll self-sabotage me from getting there, so I'm not going to take the action. So I think the only way out of it is by actually taking the action and being around other people who are taking the action to raise your internal thermostat to where you actually believe that you're worth that.
So you mentioned a few things there, like relationships, your future. Do you guys think there's levels to this shit? Like, do you think there's different levels to self-sabotage, and do you think it can sometimes be good at a certain degree?
I don't know. I guess the innate fear, the reason that we have the innate fear is to keep us away from danger. So that's the only good that I can see from it. But as far as anything else, I think self-sabotage keeps you in such a little comfort zone, paradigm where you just live and kind of do the same thing and get the same results. You really got to break through that. So, I don't know.
I like that. I like, before even asking the question, I couldn't even think of a good way that it can work out. But I like that. Because it's like that fear, it keeps you safe, Yeah. But from a growth mentality, it keeps you hindered.
And the most anxious I've ever been in my life and the most not feeling worthy that I've ever felt about myself was when we first started with Greenlee, and I was so overwhelmed with different things that I was not making the calls. I was not doing the things. I was not doing the things that I knew I needed to do. And I felt like I didn't deserve any of it. So until I changed that, until I had that mindset shift of I'm going to do the shit that I need to do and no one can say shit about it because I am attacking the shit that I need to do. I deserve this. It built confidence. It built this swagger about me, and it made me feel like I got this. You know what I mean? It's a completely different feeling when you feel like you earned it, and that delayed gratification is so much better than, you know what I mean, sitting there and 1 foot in, 1 foot out, as you kind of explained.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're like, no, man, I'm doing the shit that I need to do every day, so fuck anybody who has anything to say besides it.
There you go.
I like that even more.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Hell yeah.
I guess the looming question here is, how do you build that that deserving aspect of yourself? Like, how do you build? Because I've been stuck in that, I don't deserve this shit for the past 24 years. I do not deserve this. Why am I here? Why am I getting all that I'm getting? I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I think that's it comes from a humility standpoint. For the most part, my parents were always we don't deserve this, but we're grateful. So I guess to what degree can you feel like you don't deserve something before it becomes self-sabotage? Can it be a humility standpoint where you're just thank you for everything I have, but I haven't been working my ass off.
That sounds like self-criticism.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Mm.
You criticizing yourself of feeling like you don't deserve it. But
I think it comes down to the person too. Some people just take and think they deserve everything in the world and not do shit. But other people like us think that, we get all these things and think, wow, why are we getting this? We're just grateful for it. So I think it's the two types of different people that comes down to.
Dude, we need a gratitude pod. Maybe a Thanksgiving gratitude pod.
That's a good one,
idea,
actually. Dude.
There we go.
Damn.
Yeah, because that's like a layup right for that.
Yeah.
I feel like we could definitely go hour on that for sure.
Yeah, I think there was a piece to self-sabotage. And your question was, how do you...
is there a level to... Yeah, is there a level to one, the worthiness, and two, how do you start feeling like you're worthy of something?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, man, I didn't feel worthy when I wasn't putting in the work.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to make it very clear for yourself who you want to be and how you want to do it. And then, as Joey said so awesomely, what are your goals, man? Start with that. And then just go ahead and knock those out. Because, if you're go out, tomorrow I'm going to go out and meet 3 people. That's my goal today. And I'm going to do it no matter else, whatever happens. And just that 1% rule, just build on it every single day. James Clear talks about it in Atomic Habits. It's consistency over intensity 1,000%. Because as long as you're even going to the gym, we talked about the story where the dude lost 100 pounds by going to the gym 2 minutes a day, starting out just every day, 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day. But in your mind, you're oh, this is what I do now. This is how I do this. I'm keeping the promises that I make to myself. And then you just build from that. It's a momentum thing. You don't have to lose 100 pounds tomorrow. You know what I mean? You don't have to sell $10 million worth of real estate tomorrow. But reverse engineer and what are the actions you need to be doing every day to get to that point. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
So you think when you get to that point, that's when you should start feeling worthy, or?
No, I think massive action cures everything.
Okay.
So as long as you're doing the things that you need to do daily, you have to put in the work to feel. It's just the truth. And with our generation, we sit around and scroll social media. We feel unfulfilled. We feel less than. So, I think you just need to take action and then move towards what you want to do. List out your goals.
Yeah, I think what begets that is like getting rid of the confusion. Like you said, when you first started at Greenlee, there's confusion. There's so much to do, the fog, and you didn't take action until you kind of got rid of that confusion and honed in. Back to what Joey said, like sitting down, planning your goals, and figuring out what you actually want to do, and then moving forward.
Damn.
Begets.
Did I use that word right?
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes
I love when you just drop the
You're
sickest
He just drops
word.
as like a. You're at the thesaurus at this point. Like you're a freaking dinosaur.
No, I'm not, dude. Sometimes I'll like not know simple words, and then sometimes I'll throw out a word that I don't know where that came from, dude. I've never said baguettes in my life before.
Dude, you're a dog. You're
Just
hanging
kidding.
around. You're getting heated
Yeah.
up, baby.
Have any of you said baguettes?
No,
Probably
no,
not.
Never.
I didn't
In
even
my
notice
life.
that you said it.
The only baguettes I said were like the
The bagels
roll
and
of
things.
yeah bread.
I love it. What do you think are some signs of self-sabotage? Like, how do you know when you're doing it?
Dude, I think we know when we're doing it.
Just like
I
it's
think we do.
conscious completely, yeah.
I think we ignore it. But
You
I
think so?
I think
I
I think
ignore
more
it.
times than
I ignore
not
it for sure.
we know that we're doing it. We just try to suppress it.
Okay, so do you think we ignore it or we rationalize it? Or a little bit of
Like
both,
justify it.
maybe? Yes.
I think
Probably sit closer to the mic.
I justify it, or I try to justify it.
Well, it's cool. I need today off. You know what? I've
Yeah.
lifted 5 times this week.
Yeah.
I need a rest
Right.
day. It's fine.
Well, that's
Exactly.
actual. I mean, you need that.
You do need that, but
You know?
I'm saying like there's certain with this generation. There's so many days where people are like, "No, you need Nick. You need to sit around all day
Oh my
and
God,
just
dude.
relax all day." I'm like,
You work so hard for this.
yeah. No,
Just
it's
sit
like,
down, dude.
no, I don't because our
Take
goals
it
are
easy.
different. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me better than anybody, but it's like what you want and your limiting beliefs and things like that. That's on you. For me, I push past that and I'm not going back.
Dude, can we talk about that shit that's on like Instagram nowadays? Like with like everyone's like, oh, you know, you just need to take a step back. You've been working hard. Sweet. Like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. You have no idea how big my goals are, and it's that superiority complex popping in. But it's like you have no clue how big I want to become and like how much I want to give to the people around me. If you want to sit on your ass and do jack shit, by all means, go ahead. If that's what makes you feel fulfilled and that's what makes you happy, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and take your stupid ass fucking advice of straight up just do nothing. Like that pisses me off.
Kev's fired.
That's a
Yeah.
fire
Piss
clip
me
right
off.
there.
Honestly, and most of the words that they're saying are just like justifications of their own life. It has nothing to do with you, and
Absolutely.
They're just trying
They
to make
don't
it
know.
seem better for themselves. Like, oh, I'm not really doing anything today. I'm just on social media scrolling. Might as well make a video and post it and make sure everyone knows that I'm cool and I'm doing stuff. Like, shut up.
Kevin's fired up.
Dude, I hate those fucking videos.
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
say-
block every account I see with that shit.
I'm gonna send you a video of this dude. My cousins just sent me this morning. It's this Starbucks employee like bawling his eyes out, like we're down one guy today. Like I
About
can't
working, like,
take
8 hours a
this
day?
shit."
Oh,
I'm
dude,
like,
I saw
he's like,
that.
I'm already 7 hours in. I'm like, dude,
I saw that.
that shit is so funny, dude. But that is kind of where a lot of our generation is. I don't think there are many people that work as hard as like the 4 of us that are our age in our age group. There are a lot of people that work hard, but I don't know, man. It's just different. Our parents' generation was
Our
way
parents'
different.
generation, like I was gonna say, like that generation is just a freaking workhorse.
Yeah.
What boomers and all them.
Yeah, but then they
Boomers,
don't have the big vision. They're like get a good career and then work and then maybe do like a side job and make $80,000 a year and be happy. You know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Once again, it's just like, but we have the vision in our age because we see other people successful around
Right.
us. I think.
Exactly. Like I wish for them they could have seen like that. They could have been exposed more to bigger ideas and better pictures. But some people just weren't given the opportunity to be exposed. First of all, so I get that. But yeah, that generation was workaholics.
Mhm.
Like they'll sit here and I see what they mean now when they're like, "Oh, you kids don't work hard anymore." Like I see that shit because like now Gen Z's popping up. I guess I'm part of Gen Z, but Gen Z's popping up and it's like these kids are fucking soft. Like they're crying over their iPad or some shit. Like you know what I mean? Like it's
They're crying over their iPad.
literally.
Dude, kids love iPads
I know.
and
Dude.
YouTube. Like any little cousin or kid I've seen, they're just glued to that. They just YouTube, dude.
It's so
Dude,
bad.
yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
You have to ask these kids to go play outside. It's weird. We were all outside all the
Dude, I
time.
was
They had to
outside
ask me to come
every
in.
day.
I know it's crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude, like if you guys wanted to go play like capture the flag or something, I'd go play with you guys right
Dude,
now.
In a
Or
heartbeat.
like
Like
kill the
man
carrier or something.
Oh my
Kill the
god,
carrot.
we can we can go run it.
I would love to go.
Dude,
Yeah.
atomic.
Like
What a different generation.
I know that stuff was so fun. Like it's just gone.
Yeah. How do we tie this in?
I don't know.
We were talking about just
Generations.
you were asking me about
conscious, and is it just you justify it or not?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah,
justification.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which it's 100%. You're fully aware. At least I am.
Me too.
Like I'll just be sitting there. I'm like, oh fuck.
I should
Whatever.
be doing something.
Should be
but
doing something
fuck
else,
it.
but-
I deserve this.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna take that stupid stance of I think it's a little bit of both. Because because I do think that like you made a good point. You are aware of it. I do catch myself giving like excuses and like justification. Like I'm not buying this house right now because I'm investing money into the business or some other shit. Which I could. I mean, it's a good excuse, but at the end of the day, what do I really want? Kind of both. But
Is it like a hindsight 2020 thing?
I do think it is subconscious though to an extent.
Okay.
It's so weird to like say both, but I do think it's subconscious because if you're, it's like the operant conditioning thing. Like if you're rewarded for doing this stuff in the past, like you're gonna be wanting to do it more right now. Like if it keeps you safe and you're happy with being safe, then you're gonna keep being safe. For some people, their visions aren't huge. That's fine, but if you're gonna play it safe, you're going to play it safe. So it's subconscious for them. But for us, we're noticing that shit because it's like we want something better. And it's going back to that self-critical thinking. Like you need to think to be able to grow. So if you're not able to do that introspection and understand like I'm self-sabotaging myself, then you're not going to be able to break out of it. But you do notice other people doing it. So I think it's a both.
Dude, we got to have a segment, one sec, Joe, that's just psychology segment. And we just let Kevin say as many terms that relate to what we're saying as possible.
Hindsight
sweet.
bias.
I love it.
Sweet.
Nick said in hindsight. You said in hindsight what?
2020.
Oh,
and that's not
hindsight's 2020.
psychology. That's just like.
Yeah.
You got a couple
Laban.
of good ones too. You got a couple. Bombs.
Begets.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like
wait.
past podcasts.
You're talking to a man who has like 2 million likes on a video or views.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut up. What is it? Higher now? Gotta be 2.4.
We talked about it too
Al,
much.
did you deserve those?
No, that's why I stopped making TikToks.
Shut up.
I didn't deserve all the fame and notoriety.
Love it. Yeah, you did.
I know you check that shit every day. How many views do I have?
I don't check it at all, bro. Yeah, but to tie it in, I think as far as the justification, like we've all not fully gone into something so that whether it's conscious or unconscious, if it doesn't work out, we have an excuse as to why it didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
It's because we didn't go all in on it. So it's just a way to justify that. But I really think everyone does that to a degree. Like they leave a little in the tank so that they have the ability to justify and back out. Like they have an excuse if they don't make it, if it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's like that backup. You're not all in at that point. Do you ever think anybody's ever all in?
Yeah, dude. Like Mike Jordan, he had to be all in.
Yeah.
Or are you saying is he like 99.9%?
That's what I think, man.
I think he's the reason he is where he is because he's all in. Like if he wasn't, he'd probably like he's so mental and in that like focused state that if he didn't become great, he probably would like his life would just crumble into pieces.
Yeah.
Like he'd be broken because he doesn't have an excuse. Like he went all in.
Or could he have been better if he was actually 100% all in?
I don't know. I think he's pretty obsessed.
Yeah, I think he's pretty.
Can you really
obsessed.
be all in? I mean, everyone's got a dark side.
That's exactly what I'm asking. Like, can you actually be all in?
Yeah, I
Like-
think you can be as all in as you can be with balance, though. But I think if
Yeah.
you're so full, I think if basketball was his like absolute every single waking, breathing second, he would have lost his love and passion for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Right. So you got to find that balance. So I'm just asking for the viewers that are like that feel they need to be all in into something just to, get the most out of it. You don't have to be. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say Mike Jordan is because the book Relentless, like all he talks
Yeah.
about, it's his trainer who spent so many hours with him. All he talks about is Mike Jordan's mentality, Kobe's mentality, like of how they were all in. Like work-life balance is a myth with these guys.
Yeah.
Their work-life out of balance. It's just straight one thing is all they care about.
yeah, Kobe would train like 3 times a day too, and that's different, man. But make time for family. But he didn't have any friends. It's a lonely road.
Yeah.
So that's expected. But I mean, how bad do you want it, and what's it going to take to achieve it? That's all it comes down to. It comes down to just you don't have to be an extremist. No one's saying that, but definitely push past those walls of the uncomfort. You know what I mean? Right where that barrier, you just got to go past it. Double down at that point and keep pushing, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want it.
Now, here's where I think some self-sabotage is good. If you do go all in, now you're shutting out some parts of your life that that you want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You're going all in on your business, you're shutting out some friends that you really want to be by. So in a sense, that's sabotaging your relationships. But to a degree, it's helping your finances and it's helping your future. So I guess it's a self-sacrifice instead of a self-sabotage. It can be good.
Join us next week for self-sacrifice.
It's all about
Just kidding.
No, I love it. No, I get that for sure. And I don't think it's self-sabotage at that point because it's not really preventing you. Like, you've already excelled and you've already achieved at that point, but you're more so just talking to yourself. Just being like, look, man, I don't want to lose myself in all the success. I want to be around family. And I think that's just your morals and your standards that you're always going to keep. It just depends what you want. Yeah, there's multiple variables. I mean, it's not a sprint to success. It's like there's variables, there's morals, you know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
So, standards.
For sure. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 12 of Real to Real Podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Stay tuned for next week where we talk about gratitude.
Love that.
Take it easy.